when it's time to fight, will you be ready? When the time comes, will you stand united? It's time to start a fight. Paragon, play for free now.
No Man's Sky. It's a video game where you can explore, you can wander, you can shoot animals and spaceships and all that sort of stuff. You can be a cataloger of animals. There's loads of different ways to play this game. So while we have the three of us here, I wanted to talk about some of the ways we've been playing it at the moment. Peter, first of all, you've played more than any of us. Combat-wise, how much combat have you done? Because I've barely scratched it because I'm kind of terrified.
At the beginning, I tended to avoid Sentinels because the shooting kind of sucks in this game. It's really not good. But now I'm at the point where I see a Sentinel and it's just a pain in my ass and I just want to get rid of it. So I think I've killed 50 or just over 50 Sentinels at this point. But that's only with a concerted effort to do so over the past 4 hours today. How have you done? Has your gun gotten better or something? How have you sort of managed to achieve that? My gun has improved, but I'm not noticing that big of a difference in its performance, apart from being able to, because you can use your mining beam to kill enemies as well.
Right.
In fact, my mining beam is just as strong as the blast attachment. And I don't have to reload it necessarily. Right. So there are cooldown timers that change noticeably. Apart from that, the strength of it outside of mining, I'm not really seeing a big difference.
Right.
The space combat stuff is okay. It's very basic. Hey, here's the reticle you're shooting based on the ship's flight path trajectory, and shoot in that little circle, and you're going to take them down eventually. I've only died in combat once, which was against a swarm of Sentinels, including the quadrupedal ones.
Right.
That was the one time I came over to watch him play today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was the only time I died. So far. I don't know. Combat is there, but it's certainly not any draw for me.
Yeah, me neither. I'm kind of fascinated to see how the PC one handles. I feel like the field of vision doesn't feel particularly comfortable to me, at least on the planet. I feel it kind of works in space, but maybe on the planets it feels a little bit weird. But I'm wondering with mouse and keyboard whether or not that'll make it more fun.
Right.
It'll make it more accurate, I'm sure, but I'm not sure it'll make it more fun.
I don't think it's going to be fun because there's not great variety of challenge in combat.
Yeah.
Right. It's most of the time it's those drones.
It's shoot Sentinels or it's murder animals.
Yeah, and the animals actually catch me off guard more than the Sentinels. I find myself getting berated by animals that I just can't seem to kill. Where a Sentinel will kind of hover in place.
Right.
These animals are just erratically running around, chomping at my heels. So, yeah.
Let's talk about some of those animals then, some of the weird ones you've seen, because exploration and scanning these animals to fill up your logs. First of all, every time you scan every time you go to a planet or a solar system or you scan an animal or a plant, you can then sell that information. You upload it to the global sort of database, and then from that you get actually a decent amount of money at the start.
It's not bad, yeah. Considering you can land on a planet and scan maybe a dozen things in your immediate vicinity and make a cool 15 grand.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. What has been some of the weird animals you've come across so far?
They're all weird. They're all a mix of amphibian and mammal or inexplicable biology. One just had kind of it looked like a pyramid, a rock pyramid for a head.
Pyramid head.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Was
it dragging a massive not sword knife behind it?
A lot of fog.
Someone wearing a plastic bag for a helmet.
I can recognize and appreciate the variety that is out there, and that I can never predict what animals are going to be, but they are the least interesting thing to me about this game.
Oh yeah,
it's so clear how randomized they are, and they offer me nothing of import other than lazy money-making opportunities where I don't have to work very hard for it. The concept of being enamored with how strange these things are is lost to me after the 200th weird-looking animal.
Did you like Spore?
No.
I loved Spore, and I love the animals in this game.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's like I wish I could like rotate the models and stuff and like pick them apart. I love naming them stupid things. Like I've called like 5 different animals like T-Rex, dog at this stage because they've all got T-Rex.
I haven't gotten into naming yet because
really?
I don't feel like I know someday someone might see
That's
it,
the reason,
but I'll
right?
probably be dead.
That'll be
it
like
won't
Nobby
matter.
Nobby Boy. They'll speed up the world somehow, and
Yeah.
then we'll all see it.
Well, that's what the thing is with these crazy animals. It's almost like it's desensitizing me right away to
Right.
what I'm going to see down the road. Like if I was born in real life and the first 2 people I saw were like Hulk Hogan and Richard Simmons, the remainder of my life, people wouldn't really interest me or creep me out that much. So I would just go through life and I don't know. I think I see these animals and I'm like, all right, that's probably the weirdest one I'm going to see. And then you
Right.
see one which is like comparatively weirder, but it's still how much, if you like crank it up to 10 right away, where do you go from there?
I wonder because like I saw some like all the screenshots are going up now, right? So like it's a Destin, the guy over at IGN had like basically looked like sort of like a cacodemon where it was like this floating octopus like walking. That was pretty messed up. I saw what looked like a watermelon that was just bouncing around.
Yeah,
on
I've seen
mine.
those too.
I was like,
You know what's really interesting to me is that now that I'm seeing everything else that people are sharing and stuff they've seen,
right.
I'm noticing a lot of parallels.
Oh, okay,
Like,
right.
Oh, I've seen that animal, except it was yellow, not green. Or I've seen that line of dialogue from that person in the outpost.
Right.
Like somebody was posting about you meet this traveler from the Vikine
Hmm.
race, and he's talking about having a photo of like a potential mate who's
Oh,
looking
right.
really sultry. Yeah, I saw that.
Okay.
Like there's variety here, but there's also like a lot of similarities happening as well.
I guess they give it's like implied variety because of the scale of the world.
Right.
You're like, God, anything could be the case. But then, yeah, maybe when you actually play the game, I'd be interested to play it a second time and see how much of that comes in as well. What else can you do in this game? You can scan things. You can, I guess, mining. Like, are you enjoying the mining aspect of it? It's the fundamental part of the game. You need to do a certain amount, but you can obviously do way, way, way more if you just want to be like a trader.
It's like gambling, right? I mean, you spend enough time on a planet hoping to find something of value, and then when you do, you find like a massive cache of it. You're just like, oh, I'm the man. Like you're just dreaming of all the money you're gonna make. You're then dreaming what you're gonna buy with that money, and so at that point, the materials and the deposits become the thing you're going to buy. Like it's the means to an end, and it's great to find it. But when you're on a planet that is like super desolate, and there aren't many resources, I cannot wait to get the hell out of there. I'm there for like 5 minutes, like, nope, huge waste of time. I'm so done. Get me off this planet. I don't want to play this game right now. Take me somewhere interesting.
Yeah, that's why I'm scared to leave the planet I'm on at the moment because there are just massive like columns of gold everywhere, and I'm in a space because like I love going to the space station and then seeing what the traders around you are trying to buy,
What they'll pay double for, basically.
right? And then the fascinating thing which I learned from Rob's video as well, they put up yesterday, the 5 things you can learn from
The trade routes thing?
that you wish you knew. Yeah, trade routes.
Yeah.
So if you watch the line like where they're flying, you can kind of see the
Yeah,
best
if you
places
see
to
like
buy stuff.
multiple of these like space lines and space,
Chemtrails.
yes, chemtrails converge onto one planet, you might find a lot of stuff there. And it's very true. Like there was one planet I went to where I noticed that it did have a lot of those, and that was the one where I found the gravitinos, I think they're called, that were worth like $50K a pop.
Right.
And they were just all over the place.
Oh my
But
gosh.
anytime I picked one up, like half a dozen sentinels would come chase after me. So it was like, I'd like take a deep breath, get out of my ship, scan the area, and just sprint, always keeping an eye on where my ship was, making sure I could get back.
Yeah, you're
It's tough to leave that sort of thing, right? When you have those riches in front of you, and then you're making all this money, and you're like, well, when is enough enough? Like, how much cash do I really want on hand, or how much time do I want to spend making that money?
Yeah. Affinity asked the question: do you really need to dedicate yourself to a profession? You mine, sell data, fight, and trade. Do you need to sort of min max or?
No, those aren't really. The game isn't like that at all.
Yeah.
There's no trade. There's no classes. All these things you do are in service of a bigger goal, which is to travel.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is, at least at the start, with because you've got your multi-tool and your starship and then your suit, I guess, is that like the multi-tool, you can sort of like put upgrades in it which favor maybe combat or favor mining, but like you're doing both all the time anyway, right?
Yeah.
It's not that different. Mike, what about you? What have your first 3 or 4 hours in the No Man's Sky been? What have you been focusing on?
I think once I found a space station where I could sell things, I was mining just to see how much money I could get. I forget what I'm sitting at now. I think I have at least 150K units or something. I was hoping that I could be like a pirate, pre-release, which I don't know if you can per
You
se.
can shoot down ships in the air and collect materials off of them, but it's
Okay.
generally the same things you're collecting. It's usually titanium.
Because that was my dream, like to go pirate someone and destroy their ship, take their resources, get ready to pulse jump with the guitar solo from like Freebird playing, middle finger in the air, and get out of there.
You just want to be Cowboy Bebop or something?
Yeah,
like that?
essentially. But
the
yeah,
character Cowboy Bebop.
I've been trying to just explore as much as possible, but the light survival elements have kind of taken over. And right now, I think I'm still such a shallow part of the game that I haven't really mastered the inventory like management, figured out what elements are used for what so
Right.
far. I'm just upgrading my ship and my exosuit as well as often as I can. I think that's my main goal in the short term because I've gotten to a third solar system, I believe. I did the second like tier of the actual Atlas quest
Yes.
to upgrade your hyperdrive or whatever it is, warp drive. So yeah, I kind of like splitting it between economy, the mining, and actual just upgrades to myself and my ship, which is rewarding.
Let me tell you right now, stop upgrading your ship.
why? 'Cause I'm
you're
getting
gonna
a
buy a
one.
new
Because
one.
you cannot add slots to your ship.
Oh yeah.
The only way to get more slots is to buy a new ship, which you can then fit more augmentations.
And that's the same for
Wait,
the
but can't you
multi-tool as
swap
well.
out current like lasers on your ship though for new ones?
You can swap it out, yeah, but
You're better
I
off
mean,
saving it for the next ship.
I don't even know if it's better off that way, but when you buy a new ship, they come with augmentations on
Yeah.
it already.
Okay.
So sometimes those are already better than yours.
Okay.
And then you're not scrapping things or wasting resources to only sell it for half. of it.
And same with the multi-tool as well. Eventually, you're just going to get like you're going to have enough money to buy a better one.
Yeah.
Mhm. Well, I haven't used them. I felt cheap using them, but I have the pre-order ship and
Oh,
gun.
yeah.
I haven't.
Man,
used them.
everyone's got these nice pre-order ships that look like the ship that you saw like on the cover, just with a different color scheme.
Yeah.
And I am like,
I want that X-wing thing they had in those screenshots. It's on the cover. That's what I'm thinking of. That's
that
the
what you
nose
have?
of an X-wing.
is that-
No, I don't think so.
that's what Randy has. That's what I've seen a couple with pre-orders have.
Maybe it is. Maybe I just didn't look at it closely enough.
Yeah.
His one's got Sean Murray's face all over it.
As long as it's not a B-wing. Me and Josh Shaw.
It's not Star
former
Wars.
games- I know.
It's not Star Wars.
But I
You're
just
not
need to bring
playing
this
Star
up.
Wars.
We used to argue about how
God damn it.
stupid B-wings are.
You're
I
just
hope he's
saying that 'cause-
watching.
Yeah.
Alistair Cat makes a good point here, which basically kind of sums up how I feel about this game. Isn't that just Elite Dangerous? I mean, I really liked playing Elite Dangerous, but Elite Dangerous was like too much for me. Like I'm not that person. I can't. You have to dedicate yourself. It's like Eve. I feel you dedicate yourself to that one game. To me, this is exactly the type of game I wanted.
This is
Where
a
it's-
very accessible game.
Yes, it's like
Yeah.
a denser or like a more compact version of that, right? Where
Yeah.
it's not like you're traveling. It's not so. Elite Dangerous is broad and has no rules. This one is quite guided at the start, and I guess it continues to be guided depending on what you want to do. Yeah, and I'm really liking it. When's the review going to be up, Peter Brown?
Dude, I don't know. It's tough because the question is, do you go to the center of the galaxy? Yes. But there's another question. Do you follow Atlas, this sort of mysterious force that's pulling you in a different direction?
Then there are other things.
There are other things.
I thought Atlas was pulling you toward the center.
No.
Oh,
This
man.
game, these are the sort of things that when I'm talking to people, it's like you have to re-explain it to everyone because this game is it's accessible, but it's not straightforward.
Yeah.
The whole thing with Atlas is counterintuitive to the center of the galaxy. Like I've at this point maybe 4 or 5 Atlas interferences into the Atlas Trail where you kind of appear at these like temples. Your character begins to question, okay, I'm not headed towards anything. Am I just going in circles? I don't know. Do I want to keep searching and figure out the answer? Yes or no. And so if you choose yes, it's like, all right, I'll keep going, but you're not getting any closer to the center of the galaxy, like with Atlas.
I in fact, in my experience doing it, I'm literally going the
Yeah.
opposite direction. I was
Sure.
like, do I want to do this?
Right.
Sure.
So if you go to the center of the galaxy, there's not much of a story there. I did that when I was playing before the patch, and I actually got kind of disillusioned in terms of my pursuit because it was so much about how I made it, not about what was presented to me
Right, yeah,
at that
yeah.
stage. So I'm enjoying the Atlas path more, but there's no certain end. So in terms of when the review is coming, I'd love to say by the end of this week. It might bleed into next week.
All right. But we have a review in progress up, and you're going to be continuing to sort of update that throughout the week.
Yeah, every day I'm going to put up a gallery with some of the coolest things I saw and just moments that made me think one thing or another, and I'll be sharing those every evening.
Cool. Awesome. So check back on GameSpot.com real soon for all that hot stuff.